This has been an extraordinarily challenging year, a year like never before. Late in August 2020, Ireland saw a dramatic increase in the COVID-19 infections with the result of an increase in the restrictions. This meant that very quickly we had to dramatically change our plans for the academic year from an experience that would have been significantly on campus to one that was mainly online. Unfortunately, that was the mode that we conducted the whole academic year. I would like to pay tribute to the resilience of our students, to their flexibility in adapting to this mode of teaching and learning, and to our faculty and staff for being able to again change directions so quickly and ensure that our students were able to continue their learning journeys. Despite the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've continued to see an increase in student numbers. The CAO points for getting into UCD this year have been higher than ever. And as we go into this new academic year, we have more students attending the university than ever before, both Irish students and international students. We've been pleased to see that our rankings have continued to rise during this period of time, and we continue to be number one in Ireland for employability.
This has been another extraordinary year for research and innovation at UCD. COVID-19 is the most immediate of the challenges facing humanity, but it is by no means the only one. And UCD researchers are coming up with ideas and solutions. We launched 2 new major UCD research centres over the past year. One is in quantum science and technology, and the other one is in space and the related area of Earth observation. Professor Emma Teeling, who's involved in major international consortia around genome sequencing, and her work is featured on a number of covers of Nature over the past year. A couple of major awards this year came under the SFI Future Innovator Award Scheme, where the overall winner was Professor Kevin O'Connor for his really exciting project on creating a zero-carbon farm in County Cork. In terms of particular areas for research priority over the next year, you'll see lots of plans coming out. Areas such as cancer research, we're building great capacity there on an all-island basis. Food integrity is another area where we're doing an awful lot of work with partners, and you'll see very exciting things coming out there.
UCD played an important part in the national response to the pandemic. We continue to host the HSE Contact Tracing Centre, and during the course of the year, a vaccination centre was established in O'Reilly Hall. The National Virus Reference Laboratory has continued to play a key role in the national response to the pandemic, and we're very proud of Dr. Killian de Gascon and his team. A particularly important research program has been the Vaccelerate program, an EU-wide program designed to accelerate the approval process for future vaccines.
One area of particular significance for us this year was clinical trials, where we've built enormous capability in UCD. We had a visit in June from Minister Simon Harris, who came to learn about and indeed to thank our researchers for their enormous contributions across all disciplines to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The pandemic has certainly accelerated the digital transformation of the university. We had to move many activities online, and that included the conferring ceremonies. At the beginning of September, we were very pleased to have the first in-person conferring ceremonies back on campus. Students were on campus in person to receive their degree certificates, but we also had virtual versions of the conferrings, which were available to family and friends of our graduates around the world.
Faculty and staff swiftly rose to the challenge of migrating to remote teaching. A huge effort went into ensuring that all our programs were delivered to a very high standard. And the university invested significantly in equipment to support the recording and online delivery of lectures. The university received government support to purchase laptops for students in financial hardship, and enhanced financial support was also made available through the Student Support Fund. We provided an additional $400,000 in funding for the library for the provision of electronic books and study supports. We're committed to providing students with the best possible campus experience this year.
We recognised during the pandemic that many of the underrepresented groups and those who are protected by equality legislation suffered particularly in a time when we all found things very difficult. We put in place measures to support greater flexibility and additional supports. For example, in respect of mental health, we established a peer-based mental health first aid scheme that's now running across the campus to support our staff. We put in place a variety of measures to support students as well, in particular around access to technology, flexibility in respect of grading and modes of assessment. We've set up new groups around race and ethnicity, and we are developing an anti-racism campaign to raise consciousness on the campus and then develop appropriate plans to address racism as it manifests itself not only on our campus but more broadly in society.
Like all other aspects of student life in UCD, sport was also hit by the pandemic. However, our clubs and their committee members proved to be very resilient in pivoting their activities to online. Our karate club, our trampoline club, our boat club, they provided training sessions, strength and conditioning sessions, and indeed a number of social engagement opportunities. As soon as restrictions permitted, a number of our clubs returned to training over the summer months. Some of our indoor sports actually went outside, so we had the likes of fencing and taekwondo on the synthetic pitches. Athlete Sarah Healy, along with 3 current UCD students, Sarah McCauley, Michelle Carey and Hannah McLaughlin from the UCD Ladies Hockey Club, represented the university at the Tokyo 2020 Games. They were joined by a further 22 graduates of UCD, including gold medal winner Paul O'Donovan, who won the double sculls, and Emer Lamb, who was a member of the women's Coxless 4 bronze medal winning team. In addition, 3 alumni represented UCD at the Paralympic Games: Colin Judge in table tennis, Kerry Leonard in archery, and Patrick Flanagan in swimming. 8 UCD players were members of the Ireland Six Nations team, and 6 current students represented Ireland in the under-20 Six Nations. We're really looking forward to seeing our student body active here on campus again.
The UCD University Club was an important facility on campus throughout the pandemic.
We're very excited to see the full reopening of the UCD University Club as a members club for alumni at the very heart of campus. Members and your guests can once again really enjoy the full benefits of this vibrant and welcoming space. The UCD alumni community is a wonderful source of support and connection for graduates around the world. During the pandemic, we saw a surge in alumni volunteering to support UCD students through our mentorship and global alumni ambassador programs. Our alumni also donated almost 2.7 million to support UCD students in need. In the past year, we've engaged with over 50,000 alumni friends and supporters of UCD. These included the 2020 UCD Alumni Awards, the immensely popular In Conversation series, and the Women in Leadership Conference. A key highlight of the last year for me was the second virtual UCD Festival in May 2021, which attracted over 23,500 alumni, students, staff and friends of UCD from across 110 countries to this wonderful online event.
So for the past year, we've had to adapt all of our services to online provisions. A lot of challenges with access to technology, laptop loans. We were doing a lot of referral to support services, be it student advisors or mental health. A lot of difficulties students had with accommodation and leases, so we would have provided support in that capacity. So we had a number of, events and competitions online over the past year in an effort to try and keep students connected. We had done a lot of Zoom quizzes. Our entertainment officer Sarah would have organised an online ball with some of the other students' unions around Dublin as well, and that went quite well. For the next year, we'll be hoping to increase engagement with students. It's been difficult to make contact with the first years particularly, and of last year, so this year second years. So we'll be hoping to do a bit of touring around campus to try and increase engagement with those students with events and the likes. In terms of campaigning, rent is the big issue for us. We would like to see an increased focus on providing affordable accommodation both off and on campus.
Student societies really form the backbone of the student experience in UCD. It's where so many students have all their social experiences, it's where they make friends. So our society events moved pretty much entirely online. That meant having online panels, online performances, online film screenings, but also meant moving simple things like coffee mornings online. Our medical society hosted a number of prominent members of the Irish medical community for their panel COVID-19 Lessons for Our Future. Our drama society still competed in the Irish Student Drama Awards and took home a number of awards. Our science society developed a new event, the Irish National Science Championships, which was a competition held amongst the science societies in UCD and also the science societies in other universities, and they had comedian Dara O'Brien as the host for that event.
UCD Volunteer Overseas supports students and staff to travel abroad each year to share their expertise with communities in need around the world. Because travel wasn't possible, we did a virtual pilot event this year. We had projects in Uganda, in India and in Tanzania. A highlight for me was the Global Partnerships Forum that we held in April of this year. In 1 week alone, we connected with 230 partners across 32 countries using a digital platform. 2020 was a really momentous year for UCD with the establishment of 2 joint international colleges in China. So this brings our total to 3 joint international colleges, and we are unique as a university in having 3 of these type of colleges in China.
We're very pleased that the plans for Future Campus are now advancing at speed. We have full planning approval for Phase 1 of Future Campus, which includes the Centre for Creativity and the Centre for Future Learning.
The Future Campus project is located at the main entrance to the campus of the old N11. The Centre for Creativity will predominantly house architecture and parts of engineering, and the Centre for Future Learning will be a facility that will be used by the entire campus population. It's comprised of classrooms and lecture halls and interactive learning spaces, and it will be a major addition to the teaching portfolio of the university. The biggest project that's going on at the moment is the Phase 1 of the Student Residence project, and that has a total of about 900 beds. They've been very popular, the uptake has been very heavy with them.
The Rising to the Future strategy is being implemented, and it's now even more relevant than before. The 4 strategic themes of the strategy: creating a sustainable global society, transforming through digital technology, building a healthy world, and empowering humanity are more important than ever in a post-pandemic world. We're very pleased that we've been able to welcome all students back to campus. We put in place various measures to ensure the safety of our faculty, staff and students. These include the wearing of masks in all indoor spaces. We hope that in time these restrictions will be able to be eased. The atmosphere on campus is really exciting. Students, faculty and staff are back in an environment which demonstrates to them what a university is all about. An experience of interacting with peers, of interacting with mentors and tutors and lecturers. And we see that renewed excitement as a result of the students being away from it for so long. So it's an atmosphere of real anticipation of the year to come, a year which will be like no other year.